Good morning, professionals you trust. My name is Leslie McFadden, and today I have the honor of introducing our featured presenter of the week, Marne Garcia. We asked her to answer a few questions so that we could get to know her better. The first question was, share a little bit about your family. She says that she is a single mom of two daughters. Julia is 18 and Natalie is 15. Her parents have both passed away, but she is very close to her extended family that all live fairly local. The second question we asked her was, what is something we don't know about you? Her answer is, I did my senior year of high school in a small town outside of Madrid, Spain. That's interesting. And lived with a host family who I stay in touch with to this day. The third question is, who is your ideal client? Our ideal client is someone that needs to take the worry of HR issues off their plate in order to focus on other things and help make their business successful. Another question that we asked her was, describe your dream holiday if money was no limit. I agree with this answer. In a hut over the water in Tahiti. And our last question that we asked her was, what would your entrance theme song be? And let's get the party started by Pitbull. That seems appropriate. Everyone welcome Marne Garcia.
Thank you. Okay. All right, I'm one-handed, so it's taking me a minute to share everything here. I gotta lower my people. Okay, so I am with a company called HRKinections. I do their business development as well as day-to-day employee relations. And so I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit more about what HRKinections is all about. Oh, please. Okay, so a little bit of the history of HRK. That's now, we call it HRK now, but the real name is HRKinections. So it was co-founded by a father-daughter duo, Pat Vache and Mia Wyatt, in 2004. Both are local. Pat lives in Redmond and Mia lives in Bothell. And creating HRK was twofold. Mia was a new mom of her second daughter, and she really wanted to have a business that was, giving back to the community, but also something that she could balance with her newly growing family. She wanted to be involved in the community. She wanted to have the balance and spend time with her children. Pat had recently retired after a 40-year career as an executive leader and was looking to share his knowledge and expertise. So together with passion for helping others, human resources background from Mia, and Pat's experience with developing organizational development, the roots in HRK was planted. So the original name of the organization was Bravo Zulu Solutions. So the first time I got my check from them, I was like, what does this mean? So the fun story is Pat served in the Navy and convinced Mia to use this name as a naval signal, meaning well done. In their case, HRK or HR services were well done. Not long after the company was formed, they began doing business as HRKinections. Pat and Mia wanted to recognize the familial aspect of the organization, hence the unique spelling of connections with K-I-N as the beginning of the word. In recent years, they've shortened it to simply HRK. So continued growth in the local community. Mia served on the board for the North Shore Schools Foundation for 9 years. She's also been a part of the Bothell Kenmore Chamber of Commerce for over 12 years. She served on the board probably for the last, I'm gonna say 5 years. And as continued growth in the business, they started with a single client. They're now over 60 clients. Growth has been primarily through word of mouth and client referrals. Only recently have we done a concerted effort to get more involvement into the sales piece of it and expanding kind of that realm of the business. In 2016, they added the talent acquisition, which is basically recruitment. And so that is a one-off positions that a company would need to fill. And they're usually a little bit more of a professional level. And also doing business with veterinary services. So if a vet tech or a doctor goes on a leave, they call HRK to backfill the veterinarian open positions. Then in 2017, added bookkeeping and payroll, which was not Mia's realm of expertise. So she hired somebody named Lynn, and Lynn has been awesome. She's grown that line of business. She has a staff under her, and she's been a great contributor to that. She started as very part-time, which soon became a full-time role. So now she wants to go back to part-time. So we are looking at growing that department as well. A lot of bookkeeping needs right now with anybody from that just needs their taxes done once a year to somebody that needs full-on monthly or biweekly payroll. So added a partner to the company, Trish Williamson, in 2011. She joined the LLC. She began supporting a durable medical company, and she's been with that client ever since. So she does do some of the project work, but she's mainly with one company that she does all of their HR support. And now the company is over 400 employees. So she's busy. Okay, at HRKinections' mission is to provide our clients with stellar client service and support in our focus areas of human resources, talent acquisition and staffing and bookkeeping, accounting and payroll, enabling our clients to focus on developing their core business. So as stated before, they've been a part of the Pacific Northwest since 2004, locally owned and operated. Collectively, HRKinections has over 100 years of experience working with many types of industries and organizations. Kind of the focus is not to advise, but to have a very hands-on approach. So a lot of calls over the phone, a lot of Zoom calls, or going on site to a client if they have that, if they have a brick and mortar location. Provide scalable off and on-site services. So if we go on site, usually we will go and talk to employees or do a presentation, something like that. Offsite services would be the recruiting piece of it. Okay, so a little bit more about our services. HR consulting service provides you with virtual support by local experienced and certified HR professionals. So some of the HR topics that we would cover would be employment law, meal and rest breaks are a big thing right now, exempt versus non-exempt classifications, disciplinary and employee performance, hiring and termination, and then overtime. Okay. So the Advantage HR program provides you with consulting and hands-on support and maintenance. This monthly retainer service is 100% scalable to the needs of the business. So HR strategy is one piece of it, where we would do HR audits and compliance, HR policy and procedures, a handbook, cultural development, monthly reporting and reminders. The handbook also can be updated as laws change, especially there's a lot of things that have been put into place and then taken away these last couple of years. So kind of keeping up to date with all of those things. Compensation and benefits. So open enrollment support, which is basically annual benefits, benefit enrollment and termination processing, leaves, compensation planning, benefits planning and design, and then payroll. And then the last one is employee life cycle. So employee relations, onboarding, looking at job descriptions, performance reviews, background checks, and then drug testing if needed. So talent acquisition services is another fancy word for saying recruiting. So focus on finding the right fit for our clients, whether your need is a new staff member or for temporary help. We provide support for direct hire or continued monthly searches. So that would be like if somebody has a driver position that's kind of always open, we would just always be recruiting for that, always be looking for somebody in those hard to fill roles. So a single hire would be one role. They give us the job description, then we have places that we go source for the candidate. Ongoing hiring, is experiencing growth in the business or industry at a high turnover, will get a pipeline that they can draw from, maybe like a customer service position or the driver position, something along those lines. And then contingent staffing is just short-term need. So you have somebody that just needs to do a project or something along those lines. We can help find somebody that would just do temporary work. Okay, bookkeeping, accounting, and payroll. This service provides with expert support and maintenance of your financial systems. So the monthly services for this, invoicing and accounts receivable, bank reconciliation, journal entries, accounting for employee benefit plans, end of year closing, and financial reporting, and then annual services would be 1099s, W-2s, all the fun stuff we really don't want to deal with as business owners. We want to give it to somebody else. So that's what we like to do. So the group that Lynn oversees, this is what they do. So training's been a big thing. Lately, a lot of companies are getting back together and kind of like retraining their teams. So we can do an HR boot camp, a team building, sexual harassment prevention, and then the latest is diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're doing our first presentation tomorrow at one of our restaurant clients. So special projects can be from employee handbook, coaching, looking at an audit, I-9 audit we just did. No one was looking at the actual IDs. So kind of, coaching on that piece is really important. And then job descriptions. So then we get to my role. As many of you know, I had a business and was severely affected over the pandemic. So in May of 2021, I sold the business and went back to my roots in HR, connected up with Mia, and I had been doing some work for her on a part-time basis. But my role has definitely changed into more of the business development. I recently became an ambassador for the Woodinville Chamber. I'm a part of the Bothell-Kenmore Chamber, and now Professionals You Trust. And it's really important in my role that I have business and personal balance, which is something that I wanted to get back into. Owning my own business was, I had no balance. So it was really nice to get back to this place. Okay, so HRK wrapping up, local Pacific Northwest women-owned business, community involved and focused, and we're excited for future growth. And that's my presentation.